What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? It's Friday, so it's our live AMA day. You'll be able to ask questions, throw them in to the comments down low, and definitely get on to that. If you're watching on a different platform other than YouTube, I will not answer your questions. So jump onto the YouTube video, click on the link, make sure that you get involved and ask anything you like, because this is what the whole idea of these sessions are. It's for you guys to ask questions and me to go over some of the details that are going on in the market. So let me just jump in and start off with what's going on fundamentally, and then we'll jump right into what's going on and why I think it's very likely that we could have had $1 trillion market cap in 2020, but now it's starting to look a little bleak. And I'll show you why I say that based off charts from 2 days ago and charts today for the exact same chart. It's just pretty crazy. Now, if you are watching this video for the first time, don't forget that you can love the likes, smash them up, throw into the little bottom of the part of the video and subscribe, because show support and I will continue doing as many of these videos as I can. This week I was really busy having a little bit of fun with the Litecoin team, Foundation, and OKX. So that's why you haven't seen as many videos this week during the week, but obviously Monday and Friday, as always, the live feeds are here for you guys. So if you're watching right now, say hi that you're here watching, and if you're not watching live, it's okay. Definitely don't forget to comment on the videos. Today I will be looking at all the comments and picking a winner who will get a free month to use Athena. Even though our alts are kind of slow right now, there still are a couple calls here and there that can make us a profit, and it's free, so why not? You hear about the Bitcoin exchange hack in the Bitcoin exchange hack in Japan. I was actually out with Charlie Lee's bodyguard, John Kim. You guys may have known him for beating Tone Vays in an arm wrestle just a couple weeks back. So yeah, definitely heard about that, and I showed him and I said, a couple months ago on Twitter, if you guys don't follow me, Coach K Crypto, go follow me, guys. A couple months ago, what I said was going to happen is I asked everybody, what do you think is going to happen? How many of these exchanges are going to start to shut down? And it was quite a few, and I said between 6 and 10 myself, potentially more, and we've already had, I think it's 3 now this year already, and we have a few more months since I've started that. So let's see where we go. Now, jumping right into just kind of go through a couple fundamentals before I get to what you guys all want. So don't forget that I will be doing charts and TA, and don't leave, stay here please. Okay, first things first, he's not a fan of Bitcoin. President Trump is not a fan of cryptocurrencies. He thinks that it's air, it's unregulated, and it could lead to illicit drug and other illegal activities. So while he says that, this pops up onto my news feed that the US Customs just seized the ship owned by JP Morgan with $1.3 billion of cocaine in it. Well, as Rick James said, cocaine's a hell of a drug, right? So that's pretty crazy. And that was all based off of what? Fiat currencies, dollars. You guys know what it is. So that is super interesting, isn't it? Now, this was in Philadelphia. They seized the shipping container, and obviously this is a huge investigation, and we're talking about just a few pounds of cocaine, a total of 39,525 in total. Now, I don't know if you guys know how much cocaine that is, but that is a stupid amount of cocaine. I'm sure the Cali cartel are in love with that one. Now, on the other side, this is a really interesting clip. So the chairman of the Federal Reserve referred to Bitcoin as an alternative to gold and called it a store of value today. So as much as Trump can call it air, how do we make fiat currencies? The good question and the good answer to that is out of thin air. What happened when we had our bailout? We printed money out of thin air. So what gives money value? Well, I always talk about this in my course. The first lesson is, what is money? We give value to money. And obviously with the US dollar devalued by 99% since its inception, we know that US dollars are actually losing value and becoming super inflationary. So something funny, this is myself and John Kim, who is known, and look at those biceps, bro. He's really hilarious, great guy to party with, good times. But he was kind of letting me in on this news that there's going to be this NFL connection. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, man, there's gonna be an NFL connection. It's coming out. And I was like, awesome. So I think he actually wrote this. It's by John. So here's what's really interesting about this article. I find it super interesting that The NFL and them, what he was telling me was it's taken months and months of like going back and forth and the legal teams and all that stuff just to like announce this. But he knew this 5 months ago, which is crazy. But that kind of shows you the political side of everything that still exists in crypto as well as others. So also really interesting. How's it going, Joe? Anyone else is watching? I know there's a few of you there. Just say hi, just click on there, make a comment. Remember, the comments of the videos I will be collecting and making doing some prizes as well with that. So that's something also important for you guys to keep in touch with and know that's going to happen. So don't forget to do that, okay? All right. I think this is super interesting and really big news, and maybe some people aren't talking about this enough. So I'm going to talk about it for a minute before I get into the charts, which is absolutely next. So if you're watching for charts, it's coming right after this, but I think this is something super fundamental we have to talk about today. Binance just did its 8th quarterly coin burn. We're talking about 808,888 BNB. Now they only started with 200 million. So that is quite a chunk, a roughly 24 million almost of US dollar equivalent of Binance team tokens. Weird, right? So the 8th quarterly token burn shows you here. It's starting with this burn. Binance will relinquish the BNB tokens allocated to Binance team and contribute this BNB towards our commitment to burning a total supply of 100 million tokens. The Binance team tokens equate to 40% of the BNB supply, or about 80 million, currently worth about $2.4 billion. As you can see, this is this is showing you $2.4 billion in Bitcoin. So I have a really cool app that I use on here that converts that. Now, for further information, check their detailed blog. So basically what's going to start happening is they're going to start burning their own tokens. So there's not a discrepancy. And this is huge because we're talking about they're going to burn team tokens so that there's not a discrepancy between people holding and them holding. Because obviously if they hold 80 million and you're burning 100 million, that's a problem. And so this could have been the whole issue with the US, and this might also help their cause. So Binance has done that. We also saw a couple other things. We saw 7,000 Bitcoin ate up on Binance, which was a huge opportunity that scared a lot of people. That's something also to take a notice. Now, the last thing I want to say about Binance, they just opened margin trading, and this will be cheaper than BitMEX. And yes, it's only 3x, but that's probably a good thing. But we've already seen over $15 million transferred in. We also saw $1.3 billion in a day transferred into Binance. So this is big news. Now to the charts. So on July 10th, okay, you guys can probably see it right here. July 10th at 1 o'clock, I saw this beautiful setup on the total market cap on the weekly position. Okay, so that means I was looking on the weekly charts of Bitcoin to see what was going to happen in the future. I like to look a little bit ahead sometimes. So I was looking for around March or April or sometime in the year, almost a year from now, where we could be. What's really interesting is when I threw up the weekly chart, I went, wow, look at this setup. So we have a Chiku bullish span, we have a Kike cross, and we have what could have been, which is not now, but could have been a beautiful break into the cloud with a bullish engulfing. So I said end of the week, if it's bullish engulfing, we could start an edge to edge trade, which can potentially lead us to $1 trillion market cap. But and it would take weeks, right? One candle's a week, so it would take quite some time, but it looked very probable. So that's really interesting. The golden cross I'll get to in a minute. Give me the time frame, Joe, so I can look at that. Now I want to show you guys what happened today. The exact same chart. So 1 and then 2, the exact same chart, but obviously we had a very bearish week. We lost from this market cap, we had $341 billion, and now we have 300. So we lost $35 billion out of the market cap in 2 days. Pretty crazy, right? Now, when we look at this, this obviously is not going to be a bullish engulfing candle unless we just all of a sudden have this massive push right up. So that kind of invalidated this. This got invalidated right here. Now, what's really interesting is now if we did break into the cloud, look at the difference. It's 400 billion. So the difference was in a couple days, we could have gone to $1 trillion based off the way the fundamentals, the market was moving based off the ichimoku. And in the same ichimoku, in a couple days, look at the difference that happened. So I thought that was really interesting and something I wanted to point out to everyone that is crazy and something really, really like wow for a lot of people. And I just wanted to point that out. Now I'm gonna do Bitcoin and Ethereum. Binance coin. And then if any of you guys have any coins that you would like for me to do, throw them in the comments. And if you're watching this later and you want me on Monday or over the weekend, potentially if I get some time to check into certain altcoins, throw them in the comments. The comments are going to be used for you guys to be entered into a draw to get a free month subscription to Athena and get to try out basically trading your trades on automation to make life a little bit easier and take out the emotion, so you don't go, oh, it'll get high, oh, it'll keep going. No, when it hits your gain, it's going to trail your profit and then it's going to stop and you'll make your profit. So it's a lot easier than letting your emotions get involved, as you know. What's Mari? M-A-R-E, Matic and Link. Okay, got it. So let's start with Bitcoin, jump right in and talk about what's been going on with Bitcoin. Now on the weekly span, it doesn't look too bad, but what do we see right here? You know, a little bit of a spinning top. And let's just go down to the 4-hour span. So we saw that Bitcoin had a really big correction in a very short amount of time. And I bought this dip and I lost a little bit of my profits from that one, but that's okay because it's part of trading. You know, just don't over leverage yourself. But we're talking about, this got down to here. So we're looking at a total loss in the market cap of $35 billion, and on Bitcoin about 17 to 18%, and $2,400 about, I didn't get right to the top here, so about $2,400 or so dollars were just wiped out from Bitcoin's actual cap, the whole entire from bottom to top. Steven, nice to see you, brother. You didn't miss much. I just was going over the weekly and a little bit of the fundamental stuff from Binance and Litecoin. So if you're here, if you missed anything, just you can always go and rewind and go back. You need to look at on Arnturano. Interesting project, but it's low market cap. I like low market caps actually, Derry. So I'll definitely look into it. Autoneural? Okay, I'll look into that. I don't know if it's on TradingView, but I'll take a look and see where I can find some information on it. Tell me, where is it on, for example, which exchange? So maybe I can look on that. But we see almost a $2,400 loss on Bitcoin. But here's what's really interesting. It looked like it bottomed out here. It definitely made a if we look here, it almost, it didn't look very good. But I mean, if we look on a macro scale on the daily, it's still like, it doesn't even look like it had a blemish. We didn't even get anywhere close to this 10,200, 10,100 range for the Kijun bounce. And now the Kijun looks like it might go up here as this indicator showing. So it might go 10,600. But we did get pretty low. We got down to 10,927. So it was really kind of scaring a lot of people, and all the coins were affected. So I know many people called me and had panic sold, and that happens. But right now we're looking right here as our bottom area with the Kijun, which is our basic 50%. But we had a nice bounce on the 4-hour, if you guys have a look at that. So we had a bullish engulfing candle right here, just smashed right through. It actually had a Kijun break, but right now it's doing a test of the Kijun, and it could very well go and continue on up. Now, if we throw on a fib just quickly onto this one and look at where we might actually end up going, let's see from our swing low to, and then we're going to do it right on the, let's do it right here. Let's see where we might go in the near future. So there's two things that might happen. Okay, I'll show you both scenarios. First, if we go up, we're probably gonna potentially break through and have this resistance up here at the Tenkin. So that'll be around 12,100, and it could actually drop down after that. So be careful. You take some profit this time, please. Okay, be smart about it. If you see you're up, as you're up, this is not financial advice, but take a little bit of profit when you get up to that range over here in this 12,000, 12,100 range. Take a little profit if you got in right down here around 11,100, 11,002, and just be smarter about it and move your stop, trail your stop up. Okay, so if we get there, we could also test down here, or the next stop could be the bottom of the cloud. Right, so there's a couple places we could go and we could bounce off there, but our future is bright, as we can see by the cloud here, so there's not too bad. Nice, thanks, mate. It's the centralized algorithmic trading terminal. Interesting. There are one Bitfinex community listing vote, and do you aware of the KuCoin TRX USDT airdrop? No, I'm not actually. So KuCoin's doing a USDT airdrop. I have to look into these things. Like I said, I've been busy with the Litecoin Foundation and OKX for 2 days, so it kind of brought me a little bit away from my normal routine for sure. Hi Joe, what happened to Donald Trump's tweet impact on crypto? Listen, I talked about that right at the start of the video. What I said is Donald Trump goes and talks about it being made out of thin air. Donald Trump talks about drugs and stuff. And then I show you guys this right here to remind you that the US Customs just seized a ship with $1.3 billion of cocaine, which was with fiat currency. Do we need to say anything else other than that? I don't really think so. It's pretty straightforward, right? Now, this is a little bit harder to call on a shorter time frame, but if we go on a larger time frame, it might be a little bit easier for you to see. So, you know, let me just pull this down just a little bit more. So we're looking at, you know, if we're just going based off fibs on a larger time frame, we're trying to get to that $12,000 range, and we'll probably be testing the 236. Okay. Now this is not at super high probability just because look at our volume here. I mean, this is the daily. It's not really that strong. We did have huge amounts of volume come out of the market, and we did have, you know, it could close in this range where it's a small candle. It's still kind of iffy for me, and it's looking like there's bulls and bears pushing up and down at this point. So be careful with those ones, because it's very possible as well that we reject this area right here and we drop down to 10,900 again to test that level. So those two real possibilities right there. BitTrue could be the next Binance BNB. Really? BTR? I thought BitTrue just got hacked. And maybe I'm not, maybe it's a different one, but I thought BitTrue just got hacked for $5 million. Am I wrong? It's just double moral. Now let's also look at some other examples of where we could go if it goes a little bit what they would call awry. Okay, so if we're looking at this just based off fib, we can see that, you know, we did have like a 50% retrace that went to the 618, which is kind of normal, honestly, to go to the 618 and bounce. So we bounced off that and we're moving up. We could definitely get to the 382 or the 236, but this is an area, this 236 range, where you might see people take profit. So be careful with that range too. Like I said, in a volatile market, it's always smart to take profits. There are obviously things like our Tenkin right here, which is already rejected once. So we may not get above that range right now. So keep that in mind. Now, going on to a couple other cryptocurrencies, let's look at Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's been a interesting one to be calling right now. So we obviously saw that Ethereum moved up and obviously dropped down. Now, here's some really important things. We're looking on the daily time frame of what happened here. We had it drop below the Kijun, and now the Kijun is acting as resistance. So we do have this potential tweezer bottom right here, but that doesn't really mean anything. And I mean, Ethereum has against BTC just gone pretty bad. It's gone in a very bad way. Now, we didn't have it test the Kijun the whole time when we had those big dips, but now it broke through there. And if it breaks above, that would be a very good thing, I would say, especially, but it's just something to note that swing low to swing high. Okay, so let's look here. It's something to note that we could jump off that 786 still, but we have to break through. If we don't break through, if this doesn't get above the Kijun and the Kijun starts to act as support again, now it's resistance technically, and could potentially bounce off that and move it down to the 786. Ethereum looks very likely to go into the $250 range. At this point, I could see it getting there. And then the next stop, if it doesn't stop there, would be the 238 off the cloud on the daily. If we go to a different time frame here, let's look at where we could go. So that's 200. Now, if we go here, it's still on this time frame as well, below the Kijun. So it's acting right now on the 4 hour. The Kijun's acting as resistance. So it's trying to get above it. It tried right here on this candle, didn't get it. So it's looking more like we're going to go down than up right now. That's just what I think about Ethereum. Now let's look at Matic and Link. Link was looking good. Didn't have a chance to properly have a really good look at it, but it was looking like it was going to start going back up, and it has. So here's what we're seeing with Link, and it actually looks pretty decent. Okay, so a couple things. what I just said about it acting as resistance for Ethereum, look at it acting as support for Link. This is our Kijin, right? And it's acting as support, tries to break through, tries to break through, tries to break through, nope, nope, nope. Then we have the Tenkan acting as resistance. So it tries to break up, no, tries to break up, no, tries to break up, no. So then it comes down and tests the Kijin, tests the Kijin. Now it's trying to break up again. It could break up and above and go towards the cloud, which would be around 27,000 sats and even higher potentially. And we're seeing that the Kijin here on the daily is starting to come down. So it's kind of an interesting one. So this is our daily. This is our 4 hours. So we're trying to get into the between through the Tenkan or push into the cloud. And so we see the 4 levels. The 4 levels are number 1, the Tenkan, number 2, the bottom of the cloud, number 3, top of the cloud, number 4, the daily Kijin. And I can show you turning it off actually what that looks like. So there's our daily. Our daily is holding, in the other side, it looks like everything's pushing down, but that's why I always keep the daily on, because it's really the best indicator when it comes to Kijin where we're actually going. So Link is bouncing off the daily, bouncing off the daily, bouncing off the daily. Now it's trying to break through the 4-hour Kijin. So that's actually looking good in our shorter term span. Let's look at Matic just quickly over here as well, see where she's going. She's had such good news. I don't know, did you guys hear and read? They kind of didn't make a big enough deal about it, in my opinion. They actually are going to be raising IEOs on Matic with Matic tokens, kind of like what BNB's doing. So keep your eyes on Matic for sure, because that's something really interesting. Now, looking at this one, right? Way up there. So we have a lot of room to grow there. And then here, is it turning into a C-clamp? Kind of a little bit like a C-clamp here, which, you know, let's see how that plays out. But, you know, C-clamp right here, if you draw it, you know, you have those clamps that you have. It looks kind of like a C-clamp a little bit. So that's something to keep a note of. And it's been trying to break through. It broke through. It didn't break through. It's kind of like an in-between spot right now, Matic. But if it breaks through and closes above, we should see it start to move up again. And let's just look at this from the opposite side. There we go. Let's look at this right here. So it bounced off right here, and let's look. We're gonna try to get to that 50% point, which is always the Kijin right here as you see it. So it's got a long way to move up. It's really hard to do TA on coins that are just pretty much at the bottom again. Unfortunately, it's not really at the bottom, but it's pretty bottomed out. And that might be a good thing, honestly, that it's bottoming out a bit. But yeah, when you do something like this, see that we've been kind of holding that bottom of the you know, of that range right here that it hit, and now it's kind of trying to find its way back up. So I'm looking forward to get to that 50% retrace, that 173, but they have really good news. But if Bitcoin starts to run again, no alts are safe, as I've been telling you. TRX, not safe. Okay, not a lot of alts are safe right now. And if we look here, here, let me just pull up my Binance list of coins. Some of them are starting to recover. So Walton Chain keeps having like this positive news, positive news, positive news. And that's obviously a really good thing. And what we see here, let's just bump in. We had a couple things happen recently. So we had this edge-to-edge trade, the bounce off of it to retest an entry. Then we dropped back into the cloud, but didn't let it go there. And then we drop down and we come back up. So it's kind of playing off the the support and resistance areas of like the top of the cloud. It broke through. Let's turn off the daily so you can see it clearer. So on the 4 hour, broke down, acted as kind of as support, then it broke down again. And now we've broken above. We've had a Kijin breakout. And now it's starting to break out of this area. So it could definitely start to move up higher, which is a good thing. We want to see that. And Walton Chain has some big news coming too, apparently. Any questions, guys? Any other coins you'd like to see any TA on? I've done Matic and Link. Anything else that you guys are interested in? Remember, comments do get you free stuff. I will soon be starting to give away a little bit of UND on this show when you guys are commenting and active and asking great questions. So that's awesome stuff. BTR versus BTMX versus BNB. I wish they had this Bitmax on here, but they don't have it. Now, Bitmax, it's an interesting, let me just see if I can pull that up. Bitmax is an interesting project, and I like the way that they have this, the mining. You can lock up your tokens and mine them. And it's something really interesting to me. Now, it hasn't really done crazy good or crazy bad in the shorter term, but you know, it had its really big run up on that weekly chart. If we go on the 4 hour, let's look at it. So I have to load up an ichimoku here. Give me 1 second, and then I'm gonna have to change all the settings for this ichimoku cloud. Give me a second. So if you actually are using ichimoku, guys, 20, 60, 120 and 30 are the crypto time frames, so just make sure of that. All right, let me turn off these guys, the MAs here. Okay, so we see that we have a Kijin breakout right here on the 4 hour for it, and if that happens in the cloud, it's kind of a weak signal. The Chiku span is still above, so there's some good bullish indicators here where Chiku span's above. We've had a bullish engulfing. We crossed through. We've had a Kijin breakout. This could mean a good thing, but we do have the Tenkin right here, so it could bounce off that and come back down. Let's look on a daily time frame where it's at. All right, so this is a really interesting trade setup over here. We have a Kijin, our Chiku span that's above the candlesticks, which is bullish. We have, I wonder if we have a TK cross. Hard to see because it's on my indicator. Yes, we do. We have the red TK cross. Let me just make these a little bit brighter for you guys to see. 1 and 2. Okay, let's just look at that. Just okay this. Okay, so we have the blue crossing the red is a TK cross right about here. Now, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a bullish engulfing into the cloud. So unfortunately on this one it failed, but very possibly if we break into the cloud, we have a potential to go up to 18 cents. That's a really big, beautiful trade that could happen. It's gonna take some time, but it's a beautiful trade to happen. Now, when you say KCS, we can actually look at Bitmax is cool because it has all the other tokens on it. So let's just look at that. What about Doc after the 25% front run from yesterday? Let me check that out in a second, Rolf, and we'll definitely get onto that one. So KCS is another interesting project. Don't buy it on Bitmax. They don't have the liquidity. If you sell it, it's basically going to sell way less if you market it. If you market sold, let's say like at any rates, there's 15, then 193. There's difference in the prices. So be careful when you market, sell, or buy on this project because there's no liquidity on this exchange. You should just buy it on KuCoin, obviously. Now, the interesting part about KCS, they did introduce futures, and that could have a very possible potential push into their pricing. Now, here's another really interesting thing here. This is not an edge-to-edge trade, guys. It's already done an edge-to-edge trade. Now it's broken under and above. It could go edge-to-edge again, but it would not be a valid edge-to-edge. Edge-to-edge has to come from like this, underneath and up and into there. It's already gone into there and come out and come back in. So don't look at that as an edge to edge like I've talked about in the past. It's not. But KuCoin does have a lot of things lining up really nicely. Could do very well in the shorter term. And then BNB, obviously, this is one that we can look on our normal charts here. BNB has done extremely well. And I mean, with the news today and margin trading, it's, you know, it's kind of makes a lot of sense for it to start having some movement again. So there was a lot of push with the margin trading right here. We had a lot of pull, and now it's kind of coming down to test the Tenkin. And I think that if we do test it and we push and we blow out, we could definitely break through and go to the bottom of the cloud over the weekend, and or watch Bitcoin. Okay. Anything I say, guys, right now, if Bitcoin goes on a bullish movement of $500 to replace what it lost, you're gonna see a big change in price action. So keep your eyes on the prize, okay? Bitcoin should always be one that you keep in your eye all the time. So you asked about Doc. Doc had almost looks like a pump and dump on the 4 hour. Let's look at a shorter time frame and see what had happened here. Definitely had a pump and dump and then a pump again. So it pumped, you know, Doc had a pump of 25%, I think you said. Yeah, about 25, 26%. And then in that same hour it dumped. So if you guys ever want to look, see if the pump and dump we just go on to these types of time frames and looky here, pump and dump, perfect example of what they look like on a 10-minute chart. So on this 10-minute chart, it pumped even higher, so we can even go to a shorter time span of 5 minutes, and we'll have to zoom out a bit, but there you'll see it, pump and dump. So it kind of had a pump, a dump, and another pump. There was no real reason for it, so that's why I'm saying it's a pump and up. So push up 25%, drop down, consolidation, all of a sudden, boom, huge push up, and right away, 15 minutes later, right back down. So Doc didn't have any real good price action. It was just pump and dumpy action from probably a whale who has quite a bit of it, and pushed the price up, pushed it down. I don't really count that. And then if it was a bot doing it, well, you can see that it pushed above, touched the Kijin on the 4-hour, came back down, touched the Kijin on the 4-hour, and then now look where it started back. And this is how market makers work, guys. Market makers will push the price up, bull it up, and then over like hours and hours, they'll slowly reduce 5% at a time. So it's something that also happens when market makers work. What's up? How's it going, Alex? Looking handsome. Oh, thanks, brother. Just trying to clean up my act, get a nice shirt on, you know, make myself look presentable for all you beautiful peoples. You have a great day too, Alex. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the market. If anyone has any other questions about any other coins, Ontology I'm going to do, and then what time frame roll for the TK Cross? Ontology and Wanchain, I see those both. So Ontology looks pretty like it's an accumulation, to be honest. It hasn't really moved at all. It's like in this sideways accumulation, kind of like here and here. So I'll just draw a box around that so you can see it really easily and clearly. So we have this consolidation here, and when you see here, it looks very similar to that consolidation. So it might go all the way and then break through. Let's look over here a little bit closer. Just give me one sec here. Look over here. So usually when a consolidation in a box, we'll either go and bull up or we'll break down. And because it's so bottomed out, we've seen this also here, but because it's so bottomed out, it looks like it's trying to push up towards our Tenkin, and you know, it's not really that high to get to here. The Tenkin is kind of, this is a cool indicator that was made by one of my friends, Ali, and you know, what she did was basically kind of looking to the future. So in the future, it might drop down here. So what it's looking for is the candles in the next couple days will either test and break through, or it'll just continue on a downward spiral. So right now, it's not really in a great buying position. Okay, that's why we love you. Show you the man. Hey, you the man, Steven. I'm just a man. I'm just a guy who really enjoys this stuff and having you guys here and helping you guys out. Okay. Now, Ontology's there. Now, Wanchain's interesting. I heard from One's team that they were going to be having some interesting things happen. Now, what I mean by interesting things happen is that they were going to basically slowly put more money back into the ecosystem. What I also see was that was called, I was told about that at like 400 sats. I got out. I didn't go in. I thought maybe we could jump up there. Obviously, that did not happen based off of the Fibonacci, and right now we're trading the Chiku stands below. We've had a bearish TK cross on the 4-hour. We're in some consolidation. The indicator is showing us that we're probably going to go even lower on Tenkin, so it's going to push. It's going to either break through here or it's going to keep pushing it down. Wanchain is one of the biggest disappointments for a lot of people I know. So Wanchain does not look very good, unfortunately. Sorry, Lily, but yeah, it's been bearish, super bearish. And another one I want to show you guys, one that I always love to show you, is UND, because through this whole entire movement, it's just stayed at its same 6 to 7 cent range, which is really bullish for me personally, like seeing that. And when you see it go up and down here, this is just Bitcoin and BNB pumping because of the announcements. So it's just that, it's not really anything else. But UND has been doing very well. Some of the DEX coins have actually been doing well as well, on top of that, but they don't really have that liquidity they need. So that's basically it. So let me just go over Bitcoin just really quickly again to get everyone XBT, USD, and let's look at over the weekend where we're probably going to go and where places to look to take profit. Taking profit wise, I would be looking. Now we have this Kumo twist right here. Let me just point this out for everybody. We have a Kumo twist that's very weak. I mean, that's like almost like it's smaller than my normal Kijin line. So that's something to take into consideration. But this is our daily Kijin. We broke below it. Now it's acting as support. So we're trying, and it's trying to go back up. That's a good thing. If we go on the actual daily, we're going to see that when we zoom out of this, it's really not looking so bad. It doesn't really look that bad. Right? So always what you do when you're scared, zoom out, know that we didn't even come close to the Kijin yet, which is where it wants to come down as it did before. And it looks like we might have someone like a tweezer bottom right here because we have a red bar, a red engulfing, bearish engulfing, and now we have one, and we could turn that into a 3-in setup over the weekend if we break through the Tenkin, and then we can continue up. But looking on different time frames, like the 6 hour is always important because it breaks the day up. We see that we have crossed the Kijin as well on the daily, on the 6 hour, and we've had a bullish, a very bullish break right here on the 6 hour. Now our 6 hour has 8 minutes left. It's not going to be a 3-in side up. If it was, it would have to close above 11,721. If it does all of a sudden do that in the next 6 minutes, 7-8 minutes, we're going to see that it potentially will continue on towards this next target at 12,100. If it gets to that level again, like let me remind you, take profits. Don't be greedy. Be smart. Okay, so always be smart and take some profit. Okay. So look at your zones. 618 is acting as resistance right now. 12,100 is our 50% retrace. Keep that in mind. Make sure that you play accordingly. Okay. Then that's it. So that's all I got to say for today. You guys have a great weekend. What I'm going to do now is look on YouTube to see who has made some comments on the video. Now, if you have made comments on the video, you will be entered into a draw. So what I'm going to do now is just do a quick check of who commented on what video, and then we will look at who will get. So Lily did. We have a spammer who did, apparently. Thank you, Coney, or whoever you are. You are now hidden from my channel. We don't like spammers who make up stories to scam people. So let's hide that person. So we have Usman, Dentrick. So I'm going to go through all these names right now in the next little bit. Make sure they're all A. If you are, you have to subscribe to the channel. So make sure you've done that and click the likes. Okay. And if you've done all that, I'm going to enter you guys into a computer generator, and then I'm going to type all your names, and I'm going to do like a quick shuffle around on Monday. You'll get to see who won. So these names are going to be put into a spreadsheet. I will then on my chat group, if you guys aren't in it, t.me Athena Education, go join on Telegram, pin it to the top. There's also news. I post charts sometimes, lots of stuff like that. I'm going to post it in a document there for you all to see who is in there. They've all been checked. All those people will be entered into a draw that have done it from the last week, and all you guys will have a chance to win a free month of Athena's platform to use at your lovely your use, and you'll be able to come into our group and get all the inside information that I get for people to know what's going to happen before it happens. So those things are really nice to have too. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. So if you guys are on this list and you have or have not commented, I will leave like 5 more minutes for you guys to make those comments, and we'll see where we go from there. But we're looking right now. This closed at where did this candle close? Our high was, oh no, it's closed way down here. We're trying to break above the high, which was 11,714. If this candle closes in the next 5 minutes above 11,715, guess what happens? We're probably going to see a move towards 12,100. Okay, so remember that. We close there, we're going to move up to 12,100 range over the weekend. If we break through and have if we have a Kijin Tenkin break right here, we're going to move higher than that. And based off Fibonacci, we can know where we're actually going to go. So just last thing, because Bitcoin is what you should be looking at right now. Okay, don't look at anything else, completely at anything else other than Bitcoin, because it will lead the whole charge, right? So if we go up, we're going to look at that 12,000. Hold on. We're going to look at that 12,100, 12,300, 12,739. This range over the weekend, but is not a guarantee. And honestly, like, I'm not convinced unless we have a 3 inside up pattern right here on the 6 hour. The 4 hour, You know, it's been a pretty weak candle so far. How long has this been open? I need to get the time, but it's not showing the time on that one. That's interesting. There we go. So the 4 hour has been a weak spinning top. So something else to be to keep your eyes on. It's not been a very bullish 4 hour candle. We had one candle that was nice, one candle that kind of went up and came down. The bulls and bears are fighting. That's why it looks like a spinning top. So keep your eyes on these things. But we're getting close. 7:05. Okay, so if it moves in the next few minutes, and we're talking about not very long, but if it does move in the next 3 minutes over 7:15 and closes at 7:15, that'll be very bullish. So maybe I'll keep you here for a couple minutes and see what actually plays out there, but I won't. Anyways, have yourselves a great day, guys. I'll be doing quick videos next week, so like 3 to 5 to 10 minute, maximum 7-minute videos. So keep your eyes out on that, and I will see you guys soon. Have yourselves a great day. Have a great weekend. If you have any questions, do comment in the video, subscribe to the video, like the video, share the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Have yourselves a great weekend.